Everything up to Google Classroom. We've already covered Google Chrome, we've covered Google Drive, we've covered Forms. Let's get to Classroom. I'm going to open up Chrome. It's going to take me to my home page, which is Lawrence County Schools. Over here on the right hand side, I see Classroom by Google in my quick links. That is in all of our subdomains as well. If I go to Blaine, it is also in their quick links. They can click Classroom by Google. If I go to Fallsburg, Classroom by Google is there, ready for my children. It's the same at each school. So every school has that quick link that they can get to Classroom by Google. I'm going to go from Lawrence County Schools. If I click Classroom by Google, it's going to ask me to log in. We'll see all the classes that I'm part of. I'm either enrolled, like in Miss Darefield's room, I'm enrolled in that class, or these are classes that I own. But for right now, I want to create a new class. So I'm going to click the plus button. And if I wanted to join a class, I could do that from here as well. But I'm going to create a class. Google PD. And the section, if I wanted to give a section, like if I was teaching multiple reading classes, like 7th grade, 8th grade reading or science, I could give it section numbers. And then just click create. You see where, like, Miss Derefield says social studies, science, math, that's those sections, is how she got that in there. So it created my Google PD class, and you saw that I have 0 students in it. So I'm going to click on Google PD. The first thing that I see is the stream. Think of this kind of like Facebook, where you see everyone's posts and their comments against the posts, and it just continues to grow all the time, and everything goes down in the order it was posted in. So this is where you get most of your feedback, as comments and everything are on this page. Some of the things you have on here is the class code. From here, you can reset your class code or disable it. Now, if you do either one, reset or disable, reset just changes the code. Disable makes it so no one else can join your class. But neither one of those throws students out of your class. They can still, if they joined your class before, they'll still be in your class now, even if you disable it or reset the code. You can see that I have no work due soon. If I click Start Tour, it'll give me a self-guided tour on here. This is also where you add your assignments and your questions and announcements. So I'm going to click the plus button here. I'm going to create an announcement. Welcome to our PD. And say post. So that's just a simple announcement. Like if I was telling everyone, be ready for the quiz tomorrow. Create an announcement. Please study for your quiz. Please study for quiz tomorrow. That way parents could see it as well. Plus, if you wanted to, you could attach a study guide to it. And click post. Now, one thing that I can do here when I'm making announcements or assignments or anything from this plus button, you see this caret beside Google PD, and click that button. And if this was an announcement that I wanted to make for all of my classes that I own, I could check those classes. Or if I only wanted to go to some of those classes, like if I wanted to go to Google PD, Google Training, and LCS Tech Tips, I could check those 3, and it would post that one announcement or assignment to all 3 of those classes. For right now, I'm just going to do it to the one class that I'm in. Let's say post. So you see, please study for quiz tomorrow is up there. So the other things you see on here, besides the plus button where you make announcements, assignments, create questions, and reuse posts, we'll come back to those and explain those a bit, but I'm going to go ahead and finish this stream screen. So you see where it says show deleted items? The only person that this is relevant to is the teacher. Students will not see this. Students will also not see the class code when they're in your class. So let's say I wanted to delete this welcome to our PD. And I say hit the 3 buttons or the more button and say delete. So now it's not going to show that anymore. But now if I click this show deleted items, may have been a little too soon. So you see how it's grayed out now? It's got a question mark on it. This post is visible to all teachers in this class. It will be permanently deleted in 30 days. So you're the only person that can see this. It's not relevant to your students, just as I said. So if I click the X, it's going to take it away again. The other things we have on this screen, just select the theme. You see the background we have here. We can click select theme, change the background to match the mood of our class. We could also upload our own photos to that, but they have to be 800 by 200, so it's a little precise. And that gets kind of annoying. We also have the hamburger menu over here. And that's just a way to get back to your classes. So if I click classes, it takes me back to my main classes. Go back in Google PD. Next thing I have is students. And you see I have no students, so I need a student in here. So I'm going to resize this. And I'm going to log in as a student and join this class, so that we can see what it looks like as a student. So we'll go to Lawrence County Schools. I'm going to go to Classroom by Google. I'm going to log in as student. Now you see that student sees Google Training and LCS Tech Tips. So he's not a member of this class. But remember, I give him this code so he can join my class. So if he clicks the plus button, it says enter class code to join. Just enter the code and click join. And he'll join my class. Now you see it took him straight into my class. So now he has 3 classes: Google PD, Google Training, LCS Tech Tips. So, and woohoo, no work due soon. You can see my stream looks a little different. Remember, I see the deleted items and I see the class code. He doesn't see that. Now if I say show deleted items, he still will not see that either. Okay? So just wanted you to be aware of that. Now, we're going to look at students on mine. And now I have a student in there. So to explain this section a little bit, so one of the things you can do is invite students. But of course, class code is the easy way to go. Just give them the code and they can join it. Once again, you can reset or disable that code. It doesn't affect the students that are already in your class. You can remove your students though by clicking the checkbox next to them and clicking actions and say remove. You can remove your students that way. You could email the student that way, or you could mute the student. So that goes, the mute goes to the stream. So if he's adding comments as a student, he's adding the comment on here, hate your class. And he's constantly posting negative things to your class. And I'm kind of tired of it. I don't like it all the time. So, and all my students see that he posted that. It's not enjoyable for anyone. So what I want to do is go to students, checkbox the student, click actions and say mute. It says muted students can still submit work. Other students won't see it. and they can't reply to classmates' work, and they can't comment or post. I'm going to mute that student. And now, if I look at my stream, you see the little mute button beside him. And when he looks at the stream as a student, he has no option to comment. Let me go back and unmute him, because he says he'll do better. So I go back and give him a second chance, because we're all about second chances. Now he has to add class comment since I've unmuted him. Now, here where it says students can post and comment, you have three options. You have students can post and comment, students can only comment, only teacher can post or comment. So you see where it says students can post and comment. That means as a student, I can go to the stream of the class and click the plus button and create a post. Say, I like hot dogs. And so then the class starts commenting on that. He's made his own little interruption for the class online. So I don't want him making his own stuff up. So I'm going to say students can only comment. That's what I recommend you use. That way, if I look at it as a student now, see the plus? It just disappeared because it just refreshed. Now he can still comment on things, but he can't make his own posts. The other option you have is only teacher can post or comment. That means that you would be in a walled garden. You'd be the only one able to talk to anyone, and you'd be talking to yourself only. So I don't suggest that. It gets us nowhere. The next thing we have is the About section. The About section is where you just tell a little bit about your classroom. Like let me say Mr. Muncie's class. And what room we meet in, 102 at the high school. Save that. I could have given it a better description if I wanted to, but there it is. That's what our class is. I can go in and edit that though by the More button. I could give a class description if I wanted to. Training, save. I can always go back and change things with the More button. Yeah, another new thing in here is invite teacher. So if I wanted to, I could invite a teacher to co-teach with me. Now that teacher would not be able to delete the class, but they could add their own assignments and grade their own assignments within this class. So that might come in handy. So if I go to groups, I can see all the teachers at the different schools, all Orange County teachers, and then everyone should be in there. I could go highlight them and say next, and invite her to co-teach with me. I'm going to cancel that. That's just a way to do that. If you do co-teach with someone, it comes in handy. We didn't have that last year, so Google's listening and adding things for us. The next thing we have is add materials. So what I like to do is call that resources. I look at this like having the box of manipulatives in the back of the room. This resources is where I have all my links that I commonly use, like Discovery Education and Study Island, things like that. So I might click a link. You can do attachments. You can upload a file. You could browse your computer and go get a file, open, upload it to it. So that's putting that on there from my computer. So let's pretend that's like a syllabus or something like that. What that is a PDF of our presentation, today's presentation. I can grab things from my Google Drive. So I could go through and grab, like if I had a picture in here or a PDF or anything that I wanted to add to it, I can say add, and that'd be a resource for my classroom. Like I say, these are commonly used resources. This is what I use it for. Things that my students use at least every week. The next thing I could do is a video, like if I had a video on YouTube that I wanted computer etiquette. I should have got something I could spell quickly. I'll just say computer. So, kids react to old computers. I'm going to add that video to my resources, just as an example. And then I could do a link. I can do as many things as I want on here. I can enter a link to CNN. So there's my link for CNN. And post. So now, as a student, if I go look at the web page, remember the student's logged in over here, my class, he goes to my about section because he knows everything is always going to be right there ready for him. And he could go click on the link for the video and then we can take him straight to it. Or if he went to the link for the website, because you know how hard it is to get students to get on the right page on a website. It's an easy way to get them there. So if you constantly use Study Island or something like that, just put it as a resource. That way they can go there and click on it. Think Central with our new math would be a good one to put on there. And you can also create new, like you could have other sections on here besides the resources. You could have math resources and put your links for that in there. thinkcentral.com. Okay, so there's another one. Post it. And then I could add another one for reading. And put my links for there. Or that could be Raz Kids or ABC or anything like that. Post that. Now you can see over here, as I'm posting things, this student page is updating. So he sees the reading resource and the math resource and then the other resources as I do that. So it happens pretty quick, pretty close to real time. And so that's the About section. So that is the 3 main sections of Google Classroom. Most of the time, you're going to spend all your time in Stream, or the majority of your time in Stream. And we'll start going more over assignments and everything. Okay, now we're back to our main classroom at the Stream. We want to start creating some assignments. You know, we could go in and just click Create Assignment and then fumble our way through. But because we have the power of Google Drive and all of its productivity suite, we might want to use that as well. So I'm going to go back to my main classes folder. And you see I have my Google PD here, and then I have my subfolder or my folder for Google PD in my Google Drive. So I want to start creating some things in this folder. So you see it stored that PDF that I uploaded from my desktop in here as well. That's the one that I put in my resources. I want to create a new Google Docs. It says I'm going to create it in a shared folder, and that's fine because it has to be shared. It's in the classroom. I'll click OK. And I'm going to make this a writing prompt. Sorry. Okay, so I have a prompt out on my desktop. And I'm going to put it into that Google Doc. So I'm going to paste that in there, just for time's sake. Call this a writing prompt. It's already saved all the data, so I can just close that. It's created it within that Google PD drive. So now if I go back to my Google PD, and I'm creating a writing assignment now. I'm going to click Create Assignment. I'm going to give it a title. Please finish out the prompt. Okay, and I can give it a due date. I think it defaults to the next day, but I can uncheck that and there will not be a due date. They can have it as long as they want to do it. Or I can click the calendar and say that it is due on the 29th. Okay? And I could give it a time. So like if this was a writing assignment during class, I could say that it has to be done at 1:30 p.m. if it's during my class. And I don't want to do a time, so I'm going to say save. Now we see here I could do an attachment, a Google Drive, a YouTube video, or a link that I could attach to this assignment. I just created that prompt within my Google Drive. So I want to go to Google Drive. It's going to go to my drive. I'm going to go to Classroom. And I'm going to go to the Classroom folder and then Google PD, because that's where my writing prompt is for this class. I want to select that and say Add. Okay, now before we go ahead and click Assign, let's remember I could assign that to multiple classes if I wanted to. But the main thing I want you to see is students can view file. Okay, if that's all that you give, if that's the only permission you give to students, all they'll be able to do is view it. They won't be able to edit this file or anything. They won't be able to add text to it. So you have three different options. Students can view file, like I said, that means they can only view it. Students can edit file, so think of Wikipedia. When you say students can edit file, everyone's working on the same document. So you might do that for some collaboration in your classroom. If you were writing a script for a play or something, you had your students doing that, you might say students could edit file. That way they're only editing one file for the whole class. But something awesome you can do is say make a copy for each student. So if I do that, it'll make a copy of this writing prompt for each of my students and it will append their name to it. So I'm going to do that and click Assign. Now it's assigning. We'll give it a moment. You can see there's my writing prompt. I have 0 done and 1 not done because I only have 1 student in my class. So let's go look at this assignment as a student. As a student, I see the writing prompt assignment. I see due Friday writing prompt, and then here's the assignment. So I can click open. Now I could add things to this file. I could create my own docs or slides, whatever I want. But the document's already created for me. And it says not done, but so I click on the document itself. I can see that it called it writing prompt, and it appended my name to it, student Don Lawrence. So writing prompt student Don Lawrence. I can go into this file and I can begin editing. So I read the writing prompt as a student, and my creative juices are starting to flow. So I begin to type. But I'm not going to get finished right now. You see my changes are already saved. But I'm at Grandma's house because my parents had to go to work. But I'm not going to get to finish it until I get home. So my parents are telling me that they're there to pick me up and they're ready to go. So I have to quit working on my document. So I close it. Now I go home. Let me sign out to show you this. I go home. And then I get back on Lawrence County Schools website. And I go to my Google Classroom. Log back in as a student. Go to my class. I'll go back to the writing prompt and open it. I can see the changes that I made earlier are still in there. It saved those for me, so I can begin typing again. And then once I'm finished, I can go ahead and click Turn In. So I don't have to finish it the first time I open it or lose it or anything. I can wait and edit it many times and then turn it in later. So it tells me that it's going to attach that and turn it in. So I click Turn In. Now over here you'll see it's go from 0 done to 1 done and 0 not done. So there I see my student's done with his file. So to see what's going on in here, I've got the 1 done. I can click that and it shows me which student is done. I could go back and I can click on the writing prompt and it'd be the same thing. It would show me that student Lawrence is done. So I can go in and look at their file, see what they did. Alright, that's pretty cool. They did well. I could make comments if I wanted to. I could comment. Say nice job. Comment. Close it. And I'm going to give them a grade of 10 out of 10. I guess on a scale of 100, I'm sorry. So 100. And I'm going to return it. I'm going to give them 100. And then I'm going to return it to the student. Great work. Return. So now the student can look at his Google Classroom. He sees that it was returned. I can go look at it. We'll start from the top page. It's been returned. So I go to it. It says I got 100 out of 100. So awesome for me. And I go in and look at the document because I can see the comments that were attached to it. So I see where the teacher said nice job. Now this could have been something like fix your punctuation or fix your spelling, and then I would say resolve, and it would go back and forth talking to the teacher when I turned it in. So that's a nice little part of it. So now I can see that my assignment's been returned. I could resubmit it if I'd gotten a poor score, but I'm good to go. I still see that 1 was done. Now it's time to move on to the next assignment. So if I say plus, I could create an assignment like the form that we did earlier. That might be a little harder for us to find, but it's in the Google Drive. And I know that I did it in Classroom, or I'm pretty sure I did, in a Classroom folder. And I think it was under Google Training. Okay, so I think it was the testing Flubaroo form. So I can add that. And instructions. Please answer questions on quiz. And once again, I could assign it to all my classes or just one, or 2 or 3 classes. And then click, I can assign. I could also save this as a draft and finish it later. I'm going to say assign. Now the student should see it pop up in just a moment. Stream was updated. Click show. And there's the form test. So I see 0 students are done, but 1 has the quiz. So we'll go in and click on it. There's my quiz. So last name is Lawrence. First name is student. What color is the star above? Yellow. Shape. Circle. What month is it? February. And submit. I can close that because I'm done with it. I can already see that one student's done. Now, I can open it from here, and I want to view responses in Sheets. Okay, so there's the new student that did it. As soon as my add-ons are enabled, and click Add-ons, Flubaroo, Regrade Assignment. It's going to replace the existing grades. So everything remains the same as it did before. And same answer key. So it's grading the assignment. Finish grading. I see I have to grade this one by hand. So I go up to Add-ons, Flubaroo, grade questions by hand. Remember the one question that I had in February? I'm going to give him 5 out of 5 for that. Set grade. It's been applied, so I can close this. So, I only graded one student. So I'll go to Add-ons, Flubaroo, grade questions by hand, select student. So I need to go to the student Lawrence. I'm going to give him 5 out of 5. Set grade. Close it. So now he has 100%. So I could go here, add the 100, and that's an easy way to get my grades done. Now, one of the other things I could do with the Google Forms, if I view this response at Sheets, I can have Flubaroo automatically grade that for me whenever a new student turns it in. So I'll go to Add-ons, click Flubaroo, and click Advanced and enable auto grade. So it asked me if I wanted to update anything in here. So I'm going to have it do normal grading on everything. And if I'm doing automatic grading, I probably don't want to do grade by hand. So I'm going to change that to normal grading and say continue. He would have to answer the same as me, though. So I'm going to say continue. So I expect them to spell out February in this case. And continue. So now, when a student takes it, it's automatically graded for me. I can click the grade spreadsheet of it, and they'll pop in there. So let's go take it as student again. Let's have a look. So I'll log in as student, and I'm going to go open that assignment again. And last name is Lawrence. First name, student. Yellow. Circle. February. And submit. Okay, so I can close that. Now if I go look as the teacher, if I'm looking at my classroom, still have just the one done because only one student's done it. But I should have an extra one in my sheets. So I can see student Lawrence has done it again. click add-ons, or I'm sorry, go to grades, and it should have already been graded for me, the last one. See, he submitted it twice, and he missed it the last time because he put Feb instead of February. So that's why he missed that answer. We have two more options from the plus button that we haven't talked about. So if I go in as a teacher, click the plus button, I can say create a question. This could just be one simple question to my class. What is this video about? Okay, what's the video and answer? And I'm going to add a video from YouTube.
Okay, we are all set up to do our Magic School Bus science kit that we got from our friends.
Don't want that one, so I'm going to click Magic School Bus. And I'm going to choose this video and say add. And ask. So, if I do this type of questions, students will be able to see the other students' answers if I leave that checked, and they can edit their answers. So I'm alright with them seeing and replying to each other's answers on this question. There's times when I wouldn't want them to. But it may cause a good group discussion if I allow that in this case. So I'm going to ask. So now, as a student, if I go there, I'll see that there's a new question for me. So I go to the student classroom. It'll update its stream in just a second. So what is this video about? So they'll click on the video and they'll go watch it. And then they could type their answer and say submit. Tells them they won't be able to make changes after they submit it because I didn't let them edit, remember? And if there was other answers, I could see the classmates' answers. Now I see one is done. If I go to my assignment, and I can see that that student answered the question in space. It's just a real simple question, a real simple answer. Quick way to get some involvement. I could give it a grade if I wanted to. So this might be bonus. Okay. So then that assignment's over with. Simple enough, right? So I'm going to go back to my teacher view, click the plus button, and reuse a post. So, as I said, this stream is like Facebook, sort of like Facebook. It just shows a bunch of posts in the order you post them. Everything goes down in the order. So, like if I posted this and then I posted 10 other videos afterwards, this is going to be down, all the way down. I may want to reuse that post sometime, or it may be a post from one of my other classes that I want to reuse. So I'm going to click the plus button, say reuse post, and I'm going to go into my Google PD class and select a post. Please study for quiz tomorrow, and reuse that one, and post. So it puts that on top. So that's a quick way to get things up and reuse them. You can also click the more button, delete posts that have been made, or move them up from there, move to top. So move that one all the way up. Okay. And delete. So get rid of it. So that is Google Classroom. Now I'm sure I didn't cover everything, and there's always many ways to do one thing. One thing I forgot over here on the hamburger menu, you do have the classes that you teach split up from the classes you're enrolled in. And like if between years you archive classes, they would show up here. And then you have the settings button where you can change some stuff with your account. Archive classes. This is classes that I deleted. If I click the more button, I could restore them, or if I click delete, it will actually get rid of them and I won't be able to get them back. So the way that you archive a class really quickly is if you go to the more button, you can either rename or archive from your classes section. More, rename, or archive. So if I archive Google PD, see, it removed it from my active classes. So I also do not see it over here where I'm teaching. If I go into my archive classes, I didn't mean to get rid of Google PD. I need that class, it's current. So I want to restore it. Restore. It takes me straight into the class, but if I go back to my classes, there it is, my Google PD. And also I see it under my teaching section. I hope this has helped you a bit. Please give us a call at the tech department or email us if you have any questions. And let's have a good time.